Alright, everybody, how's it going? It is time for another Sunday sketch. It's about noon on a Sunday. Beautiful Sunday. Actually, it is quite nice outside now that I'm looking out the windows. Just a little bit of clouds, um, which, is not unusual for Seattle, but it's not like gray or anything. It's actually quite nice. Although it is cold. It is getting cold. But this is not the Weather Channel. We are here to draw some stuff. So let me just uh hello to everyone on stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And today I'm going to be drawing a little something for one of my Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/tierwolf. And he said that'll be Eltarin, and he said to just draw something. We had a little bit of a discussion rather, and he said to just draw something that I was inspired, from the discussion or whatever. And that seemed pretty vague, but I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna draw some, I think, some Mega Man stuff, and we'll go from there. So I hope you like it, Eltarin, and I will send this to you when I get it finished. So let's see. So, we're gonna draw, let's see. Gonna draw some good old network, or NT Warrior, Mega Man characters. My personal favorites, from a design perspective, I really like how they did Number Man. And I really enjoyed his design, and I really liked the design of Searchman was cool, and Gyroman was really cool. Honestly, if you haven't played Battle Network 5, I think has the one on the Nintendo DS back in the day. If you can find it though, the Double Team DS was really really good. Had a lot of fun with it, and the tactics style game system was really neat. So we're gonna draw a little bit of that. So let's see. Number Man in the game was all about dice, so we're gonna draw. Oh my gosh. I know what I want to draw now. I got it. I got it. So we're gonna draw Chibi Number Man. Let's see, which means I need to give him a big head, because he's got his big computing brain head. It's also kind of shaped like a skull, which I think is pretty interesting. But it's also shaped like a light bulb, which I think is more what they were going for when they designed him. And he's got all these cylinders. And then I'm not going to give him really long legs and everything, because chibis are kind of small and tiny. And he's got these really interesting arms. So his shoulders are kind of these discs. And he's got his little arms there. And then he's got these little, like, fat marshmallow fingers. That like probably grab things. They're like, it's like a crane game kind of hand, which I think is funny. Um, so I'm drawing some chibi Mega Man characters, and they're gonna be playing a board game because Number Man uses dice, and I just think that's adorable. But I'm drawing it as part of my like Christmas presents to all the patrons and people who've supported me. So that's kind of the theme for today. And then he's gonna be sitting down. But we're gonna be drawing some Mega Man characters playing a board game. Do it more like this so you can actually see both of his legs. And we can make his arm a little bit longer to go with his legs, but we still made him tiny. I think I'm gonna make his head bigger to get more of that chibi look. He's got his big old marshmallow fingers. Number Man was definitely one of my favorites. He was an interesting boss in the game. I think they actually added him to the main line of Mega Man games. I just forget what he looks like in that. But I thought he was a one of these network or battle network characters first. I don't recall. I know at least one or two of the characters were Battle Network first, I thought. I could be wrong. Definitely the first time I saw some of them. Obviously not like Gyro Man or any of those. Like those are obviously from Mega Man like 2 or something. Alright, so there's our little Number Man. And let's make his head a little bit bigger. I think. Let's play around with the size a little bit and see if bigger isn't terrible. That does look a little weird. I'm gonna go ahead and not do that. Okay. Turning him into Bibby? I don't understand what you're saying there, sir. Bob Rossman. That would be something. Maybe I'll do that another time. Do like Halloween costumes, and Number Man will be Bob Ross. That'd be funny. Okay, So, Number Man will be, let's see, of course, playing a board game. We gotta have Mega Man in here. Naturally. So we'll draw Mega Man doing a pose, and he'll have a big head. Do do do. Something very Lucky Star-ish, because that's how Chibi kind of works, to an extent. So we're gonna do, let's see, we'll put his chest right there, and he'll be doing on his little, he'll do a pose kind of like this, right? Just laying down. I could draw a Snorlax. Maybe not this time. We'll see how much time I have when I'm done with this. Do do do. Could definitely give it a try at some point. I love his gloves and his whole. Honestly, I really love this Mega Man's whole aesthetic. I thought was really good. Then we're gonna give him big old eyes, cause what is Chibi if you don't have giant eyes? We could probably go even bigger than that. And then he's got his little weird visor thing that's not quite a visor, but it's attached to his helmet anyway, so there you go. And then his little ear dealies. Because every Mega Man has to have little ear dealies. Okay, da da da. And he's got his hair kind of like so. And I gotta figure out a way to make this a little more chibi, and I think shortening up his body is gonna be the way to go there. Da da da. Still gotta give him enough body. And cute little boots. I'll give him a little butt. because he has a little butt. And there we go. And then he has these lines down the sides of him. Kind of a helmet like that. Thank you, I appreciate that. I do try. These are just quick sketches, but I do try. Did kind of a neat painting last week of Numemon. All right. And then we need one person getting real angry. Let's see. What would be a good Mega Man character to get real angry? Probably, well, Gutsman would probably table flip the whole thing. We want somebody to just be a little angry at Gutsman. For rolling real good. Somebody to just get a little angry. What would be a good one? Proto Man. Proto Man could get angry. What would be a cute one to draw, though? Proto Man's not really cute, you know? Maybe, what do we got? What do we got? Could do, like, Search Man. Ooh, or Magnet Man. Magnet Man already looks angry. He's got this, like, his whole head is like a giant magnet, and so it makes him look like he's got these eyebrows, you know. Or Fireman. And any of Mr. Match's Navis, honestly. Flame Man, Fireman, Heat Man. Let's go with... Oh, I know. Let's go with Colonel. Let's do a Colonel. I was just talking about how I really liked Mega Man 5, and Colonel is definitely part of that. Because Colonel was awesome. Okay, and now we're going to have Colonel. He's going to be... Now, Colonel has an interesting shape to him because he's got this, like, kilt thing going on. So he's going to actually be a bit harder, but I'm going to try. And so he's going to be sitting kind of... on his knees. But he's going to be sitting kind of back. And he's going to have his arms crossed is what I'm going to do. That's what I've decided. He's going to have his arms crossed, and he's not going to be very pleased with what's happening. So kind of like that. And then his head tilted down like that. So it's going to be kind of into that territory. And actually, that's fairly realistic proportions right there. So now we gotta chibi him up, and that part of that is having a big head. Of course, Colonel already has a big head, but we're gonna make it as big. We're gonna make it even bigger somehow. And I think I'm gonna start with the eyes, because I think chibis, a lot of their expressions and the reason they're adorable, a lot of that has to do with the eyes. Of course, Colonel has these very distinctive, like, his eyes are right below this visor that he has. Or this helmet. Because Colonel has this really cool helmet, honestly. I really quite like it. And then he's got his big old earmuff things, because almost everything in Mega Man has these giant earmuff things. Welcome, welcome. And then he's got this amazing hair popping out of the back of this. And, you know, he's a computer program, so his hair can go ahead and defy the laws of physics. But his hair definitely defies the laws of physics. It's amazing. Colonel's hair is amazing. Okay, and then we're gonna there we go, something like that. And then he's got his helmet has this little jewel thing in the front. And there you go, chibi Colonel face. Now comes the hard part, because he's got these giant. They look like his pauldrons almost look like they're just big screws. And he's got these really, I mean, they are massive in the game, and I don't, honestly, I don't know what other game Colonel goes or comes from originally. Bye, Alexandra. Thanks for hanging out. But he's got these just big old massive screw pauldrons, which I think are just kind of hilarious. Just a little. Alright, and then his cape, now he's got this huge cape, he's got so many things, and I feel like maybe doing a chibi Colonel was maybe a bad idea, but we'll see how it goes. It's going okay so far. So he's got this big old cape, and then he's just gonna be pretty unhappy with the way things are developing. He's gonna have big old chibi crossed arms. As much as I can. Which is mostly just gonna be, it's gonna be all glove, guys. Just all glove. There we go. So let's go ahead and give him more of a sullen expression, because Colonel is not one to yell, really. There we go. And then he's got his body, which is fairly basic, and he's got this big old belt buckle, which is fairly not basic. And then his amazing, like, battle kilt thing going on. But we're gonna go ahead and make that a little bit smaller, because he's Chibi Colonel, and we're not making everything about him huge. That'd just be ridiculous. He does have big old chunky boots, which is another thing I love about his design. I love just all the boots in Mega Man designs, honestly. The boots are like one of my favorite things. Cause they're just really big and chunky and cute looking. Oh my goodness. Alright, and we got a little bit of that, but I think I made him a little too tall. I mean, he is tall, but I think I just need to bring that up a little bit. There we go. Ooh, just moved the whole thing. And now we add the cape. Which unfortunately is going to cover up his cute little boots. Da, da, da. And there we go. And then we're going to move Number Man up a little bit so that I can make room for the board. And then I'm going to draw a little board game in here. And I don't actually know the pattern on dice, so I'm just kind of winging it. I think 6 is on the opposite side of 1, though, at least. I know that. Gotta do some, like, wibbly energy stuff. Colonel is upset that he didn't get to be the race car in Monopoly, obviously. Mega Man's like, I'm always the race car. You can't be the race car. Of course, they're not playing Monopoly because, you know, I don't even know if they have Monopoly in their world or whatever. But they're playing a Monopoly-like game. Why not? And then I'm gonna figure out. So they're playing some sort of board game with a point system, and so I gotta give Number Man like just all the points over here. Just piles of their Monopoly game uses coins. Little fake gold coins. So Number Man is going to have the biggest pile of fake gold coins, and then Mega Man is going to have just a little bit of fake gold coins, and then Colonel's just going to have 1 or 2 pieces left. Like that. We can make Number Man's eyes even bigger than that. Oh, you know what? He needs happy eyes. On account of he's winning. I think I made Mega Man's nose a little bit too low. Move that up just a little bit. There we go. That looks better. To me. I think they're actually different numbers every time you see Number Man, but I'm going to go ahead and do, let's do like a 0, a 7, and a 9, because why not? That'd be fine, right? Da, 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 da. And then his boots have these little light things, which are very similar to the shape of his mouth, honestly. And then something like that. And then inside inside of his light bulb head, he kind of has this disco ball brain. He computes stuff and his head lights up. It's really a neat design. I really enjoy this design. Mega Man's trying to strategize a way out of this. And then another thing that I've found that I really enjoy is just putting these nice big thick lines around the outside of everything. And not all over the thing, just around the outside. And I find that gives it a really fun, poppy, sort of cartoony vibe to it. Ooh. And it also helps to hide some mistakes if you have some mistakes in your line work that you just want to cover up. It can also do that. I'm not saying you should do that if that's the case, but it doesn't, couldn't hurt. So like that, around Mega Man, make him all cute and poppy. Of course, this is just a sketch, so nothing too fancy, although I might color it. I've got a little bit of time. Meaty little marshmallow fingers. I don't know. I watched a little bit of the Anti-Warrior show, the anime or whatever. I didn't really like it all that much, but I did really enjoy the video games. Were good. Network transmission and all of that. I thought they were really fun games to play most of the time, and it was like this RPG real time. It was like this real-time RPG thing, but you moved around on a grid in combat. So when you did get into a fight with, monsters or whatever, you'd move around on this grid, and you'd have to use your skills. And positioning was really important. So I think that's really what made the game fun for me. Was not the stories weren't amazing or anything. They weren't anything to write home about, but the combat was a lot of fun. Because it was sort of a combination of deck building and, then you had to care about where you were on the map. Your positioning was important, and your different moves would be useful at different times. Which made it feel fast-paced and exciting, even if it was, even if it was still a tactics game or what have you. Or not tactics. It was RPG. And there were turns and everything too, so it was kind of still turn-based. But the turns would be like, they'd be a timer, an active timer in the game, and then they'd, when your turn came back around, it would reload all of your special moves. Or you'd be able to hit a button to reload your special moves, but you only had so many like cards in your deck basically to attack with. And so if you moved on to the next turn too quickly, then it would be a bad. And then they had the one GameCube game that was very much like a classic Mega Man game, but it still had some of the mechanics of using the battle cards, um, but it played much more like a classic Mega Man game, somewhere between classic Mega Man and Castlevania, because you still had to like explore places and stuff, and backtrack a lot. So it was somewhere in there, I think. So, alright, and now I'm gonna color it. So, Numberman was this sort of lime green monstrosity. I say monstrosity, I mean I like him. I like his character design. But this green was just a little ridiculous. Oh, you know what? I drew his hand just a little off. Should fix that. Because he actually has a segment to it. Like that. And then the segmented bit is not this yellow-green color. Sort of this beige. A lot of his body has this beige. But then also he's got this dark gray. In very specific places. And in fact, part of his disco ball head has that dark gray. And then he's got this bright orange. Oh, dark gray also needs to go on his number counter chest. Bit. And now I get to do some fun tricks to make the his head look a little bit more like glass and make some things light up. It'll be a good time. So first, I'm gonna take this white and just kind of fill in around all of the lit up pieces. Let me just move this back a little bit so I can get closer in on my, there we go, tablet. Okay, and then on top of that, I'm going to do an overlay layer, and it's going to be this sort of bright yellowy color. And I'm going to use a softer brush. And that'll make it look a little bit like they're lighting up. Of course, he's also got just plain yellow bits here, here, and here. And then his eyes are also yellowy, but I'm gonna do, they are kind of yellow and then also glow yellow, so I'm gonna do this a little bit differently. I'm gonna do it like, put yellow on underneath my overlay layer, and then I'm gonna come back on my overlay layer and just put more yellow on top of that. Now, I'm gonna take another layer, do like a light blue for the glass. Try and make sure I get all of his little dome head here. And then we're gonna turn that into a, nope, not that one. Screen? Nope, that turns all the color into that. Think. What am I missing? Oh, right, that should go on underneath these. There we go. And now on top of that, then we do another layer that gets some of the, like a little glass effect on it. And we actually want to have that one above even the sketch layer because it goes over that. And there you go. Number Man with his little glass dome. Okay, now I'm gonna take all of that and put it in a folder. All of the Number Man color stuff, gotta put it in a folder so that I don't get it mixed up with all my other layers. I've done that before. Organization is super, super important, so gotta make sure I don't screw that up. I got a little chibi Number Man. You know what? I should give him. I should do a few more little detail things on him, I think. And that is, yeah, I think we're missing a couple details still. So he's got this lighter gray on his fingers. Oops, that's not light enough. There we go. and then his little lightning zaps. I want to have his little lightning zaps on my yellow layer because that's the color I'm making them. What's up, kitty? That was a very loud kitty meow. Come here. Come see me. What you doing, huh? What you doing? You exploring? Is that what you're meowing about? Okay, go. Fly, be free. Okay, and actually, I think Numberman is all I have time for today as far as colors. I'm gonna finish coloring this up and send it on out to Eltar. And again, thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon for most of the year, actually. So I'll be doing more of these sort of Christmas presents to my patrons. But if you would like a particular spot, you can always hit me up on my art gallery page. Has a contact link, and you can use that to get in touch with me, and I can draw you a pretty picture as well. So hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for joining me, and I will be back probably Friday because I have finals this week, and so sadly this is all the drawing I have time for. I really got to get on some of these papers and stuff that I have to write, and and my throat's really dry. So I'll catch you all next time. Thank you so much, and until then, goodbye, friends.